This is my cat licking her. Anyway, we're gonna do this unboxing. I got a new Chapman guitar, so let's go see how it is. They sent me the wrong one. Wow. I bought it from Toman, but I don't think it was Toman. I think it was Chapman because this is marked as an ML3. So I got the replacement, and let's make sure that it's the right guitar this time. It looks like they ripped a hole here to make sure that it was the right guitar. Look at that. Finally, the correct guitar. Alright, so first note, this guitar seems to have a lot of bow for whatever reason. Should be easy enough to fix. The action seems pretty high. I'm glad that the second time around we got the correct guitar. Okay, so it's been a few weeks. I finally kind of know how I feel about this guitar. For $450, offers a lot of value, but I think it's missing something. I'll go over what I mean about that later. The first thing you notice about this guitar is the top. It's very unique. I think the only other company that's done sort of this like blue to red sort of fade is like Epiphone with the blueberry burst. But it's pretty good looking, I think. I think the depth of the flame on the top is pretty deep actually for it probably just being a veneer. And I think the other thing that stands out for me about this guitar are the pickups. They're actually quite hot. I think the pickups actually sound really good. That was the bridge pickup, and the neck pickup actually is not too bad as well. The frets are actually rolled off, like very, very dramatically. That means that if you were to pull the string off the side of the fretboard, the string actually will kind of maintain its pitch. So it's kind of interesting. I don't know how practical or useful that will actually be, but I presume there's a reason for them rolling the frets edges off this dramatically. So some players might like it, I don't know. You got your usual hip shot bridge, you got 24 frets, and you have a reverse inline headstock. And the neck is sort of this thicker C shape, but it's not nearly as thick as like my PRS, for example. Don't expect like an Ibanez with this thing. Overall, I think for the pros of this guitar, the main points are that you can get a very usable sound out of this guitar, and I think that in general, if you're okay with upgrading a few parts, and I'll mention what we probably want to upgrade, if you're okay with upgrading those parts, I think this would be a pretty good option. But let's get into the things that I think this guitar would need some improvement on. So when I got this guitar, the frets were super not smooth. I don't know if it's because of shipping. Basically, as you bent strings, you would feel the like roughness of the fret itself, and I did not like that at all. I had to go and give this thing a bit of a fret polish with some, I think it was like 1000 grit steel wool. Fret ends, I actually do kind of feel a bit of the fret sprout on the side here. It is summer right now, so I don't know if that has something to do with it. But it is not the smoothest. Despite the extreme sort of rounding of the edges of the fret that I mentioned earlier, the actual fret ends still sprout a little bit. One really, really funny thing about this. So this tone knob is a push-pull, but if you actually just did that, the knob would just come off. This is a push-pull knob, and they put a knob that just isn't tight enough onto this right here. You'd have to get an aftermarket knob for this because the one that they provide just isn't tight enough to like be able to pull the switch up without it just coming off like that. The other thing is this guitar actually has really, really bad tuning stability. I think it was Arnold Plays Guitar that mentioned this, but the tuners are actually able to detune themselves as you're playing. And I've noticed this, that like while I'm playing to folks on my stream, about every 2 or 3 songs on this guitar, it'll already be out of tune. The tuners definitely have to be upgraded, and for $450 you could reason that. You could definitely make the argument that, hey, it's worth it. If the guitar itself is $450 and you just want to upgrade the knobs and the tuners, great. When I got this guitar out of the box, there was significant neck bow towards having way too much relief, so I had to adjust that quite a bit. It was really, really off. And as a result, this guitar definitely did not feel anywhere near close to being set up properly out of the box. Why is it that I feel like this guitar, even for $450, isn't a good deal? The guitar is built alright. I think it's not the best built guitar that I've held at this price point, especially. I think equivalent Schecters definitely feel better built at this price range. But I do think that there is this feeling that it's kind of a parts bin guitar. It feels like they put all the money into this top. Depending on what your priorities are, that could be a good thing because you like the look of it. Or it could be, I wish they just put the money into the areas that affect playability. And for me, that's actually the biggest thing, is I don't feel like picking up this guitar and writing on it. And that's not something that I can quantify with just like some upgrades with this guitar. But with that said, maybe for other people, maybe that would be actually a really good thing. Maybe this striking look is what people are looking for, and I completely understand that. I think it looks like really cool. I think that the general quality of the guitar is pretty good for $450. I just don't think that the things that they focused on are necessarily the things I would personally focus on. But that's neither here nor there. I can't tell a company what to do, and if some people enjoy this kind of product, then I think that is a positive for them. But the elephant in the room is the fact that I got the wrong guitar. That already took down my hype for this guitar. Getting the ML1 instead of the ML3 that I ordered was just, it was a lot. It was a lot of like mixed emotions there already. And I bought this guitar from Thomann, and it wasn't Thomann's fault, because the box had been labeled ML3, but the guitar inside was an ML1. And Thomann basically just takes the box and sends it over. So the guitar that was in it was just not the right guitar from the factory. And for some people that might be really okay, like you might not even care, like the guitar itself is not a reflection of how the person who put it in a box like handled the guitar. And like I said, the guitar sounds pretty good, the pickups are hot if a little bit bright, and just in general, if you're okay with upgrading the tuners and getting some new knobs so that they don't fall off when you're trying to do the push-pull, I think this guitar is pretty good. Maybe you'll get a copy that doesn't have the fret in the rough frets. That's kind of a unit variation thing, I bet. And in my opinion, if you can get past those things, then this guitar would be great for you. Anyway, I hope that helps for anyone who is considering this guitar or any of the similar versions with a different finish. I will be posting more often from now on, so please hit the subscribe button if you want to see more content from me. And yeah, have a great one. Stay safe, everyone. Take care.